Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Pit Shop family. We form Pit Shop family program to welcome everybody who pays interesting in application of good idea for peace. We use the word peace family, Pit Shop family. Shop is a place for everyone who comes and sits for exchanging ideas, opinion, dream, imagination for the better family, for the better society, and for the better world. That's the world peace. We believe that love, compassion, loving kindness are the leaders for peace. We believe that love, loving kindness, compassion are ethical code to lead us for peace. Whenever love, compassion, or loving kindness arises in our mind, that moment the mind becomes peace. So we need peace in every activities. Today I would like to bring the Buddha's word in the Buddha verse to read for you on the topic of Dhamma is an experience of the true nature. And experience the true nature. When we talk about the nature, we include on things we can experience by eyes, ears, nose, tongue, tangible body, and thinking. Then today let's read the Buddhist scripture that talk about the true experience, the Dhamma as the true experience. Six sense base monks, a monk dwells contemplating phenomena in phenomenon in terms of the six internal and external sense base เขาก็บอกว่าให้พระสงฆ์ได้ปฏิบัติภาวนา ณอายตนะภายในหกอายตนะภายนอกหก and how does a monk dwell contemplating phenomena in terms of the six internal and external sense พระสงฆ์จะปฏิบัติเกี่ยวกับธรรมะอย่างไรจะปฏิบัติธรรมะนั้นอย่างไรธรรมะตัวนี้ก็คือฟีโนเมนาหรือปรากฏการณ์อย่างไรบ้างแล้วก็ปฏิบัติที่ไหนก็ปฏิบัติที่ six sense ที่ตาหูจมูกลิ้นกายใจ Here a monk understands the eye. He understands forms, and he understands the factor that arises dependent on both. And he also understands how the arising factor arises and how the arising factor is abandoned and how abandoned factor does not arise again in the future. This is the way how to contemplate the true nature by six internal and external sense. Then the Buddha start monk to understand the eye, understand forms, and understand the factor or the trap. The factor or the trap that's right dependent on both. พระพุทธองค์ก็ได้ตรัสว่าให้พระในเข้าใจตาหูจมูกลิ้นกายใจได้เข้าใจตาเข้าใจรูปเข้าใจพันธนาการที่เกิดมาจากตากับรูปเข้าใจวิธีการที่พันธนาการที่ยังไม่เกิดขึ้นและเข้าใจที่เกิดขึ้นแล้วถูกทำลายไปและเข้าใจว่าทำอย่างไรพันธนาการที่ถูกทำลายไปแล้วจะไม่เกิดขึ้นอีกในอนาคตตรงนี้ก็คือให้ศึกษาธรรมะที่ตาเมื่อศึกษาธรรมะที่ตาให้รู้ว่าตาให้เข้าใจตาให้เข้าใจรูปและให้เข้าใจว่าเวลาตาเห็นรูปมันเกิดความยึดมั่นถือมั่นหรือไม่ในที่แท้คำว่า factor ก็คือมีโซ่เกิดหรือเปล่ามีโซ่ที่จะมาล่ามหรือเปล่าในที่นี้ทีนี้ก็ดูต่อไปตาเสร็จแล้วต่อไปมาดูหูบ้างนะที่พระองค์ได้ให้ตรัสตามลำดับ He understands the ear. He understands sounds. He understands ear. He understands sounds. ทีนี้เราจะถ้าเราจะไปเอาข้อความเดิมก็คือพระภิกษุรูปนั้นเข้าใจหูกับเสียง and then he understands the factor that arisen dependent on both. He understands how the arisen factor arises, how the arisen factor is abandoned, how abandoned factors does not arise again in the future. ก็หมายความว่าเข้าใจเสียงจากหูเข้าใจเสียงทางหูเข้าใจว่าเมื่อฟังแล้วเครื่องพันธนาการหรือว่าเอาง่ายๆว่าความยึดมั่นถือมั่นที่ยังไม่เกิดก็เกิดขึ้นเข้าใจว่าเมื่อเกิดขึ้นแล้วจะจัดการกับความยึดมั่นถือมั่นนั้นอย่างไรหรือเราจะออกจากเครื่องพันธนาการนั้นอย่างไรตรงนี้ก็ต้องเข้าใจต่อไป he understands the nose he understands the odors and then we use the same word. He understands the factor that arise depend on both, and he also understands how the arisen factor arises and how the arisen factor is abandoned, and how abandoned factor does not arise again in the future. This based upon nose. Okay, come to the tongue. He understands the tongue. He understands flavors. He understands the factor that arise dependent on both, and he also understands how arisen factor arises and how the arisen factor is abandoned, and how abandoned factor does not arise again in the future. Based upon tongue and the flavor. He understands the body. He understands the tactile object, tactile objects. He understands the factor that arises dependent on both, and he also understands how arisen factor arises, how arisen factor is abandoned, and how the abandoned factor does not arise again in the future. He understands the mind. He understands the body. He understands phenomena, and he understands the factor that arise depend on both, and also understand how arisen factor arises and how the arises factor is abandoned, and how the abandoned factor does not arise again in the future. In this way, he dwells contemplating phenomena, in phenomena internally, externally, both internally, externally. He dwells independent not clinging to anything in the world. That's how monk dwell contemplating phenomena in terms of six internal and external sense ดูก่อนภิกษุทั้งหลายเมื่อภิกษุอยู่เช่นนี้พิจารณาธรรมในธรรมอย่างนี้ทั้งในและนอกทั้งในและนอกภิกษุนั้นจะมีความเป็นอิสระไม่ยึดมั่นถือมั่นใดๆในโลกนี่คือวิธีการที่พระจะอยู่โดยพิจารณาเห็นธรรมในธรรมในอายตนะภายในอายตนะภายนอก Many people ask that could you please tell me about an example of the Dhamma that is meant the nature. Okay, following the six base that we study six sense base, external base and internal base as an experience of the true nature. Because eyes are the true nature. The form, the picture or object that has sufficient color to see are also the nature. And then the mind that knows the object by the way of eyes is also the nature. We use the nature to study the nature. So Dhamma it meant the true nature that we can experience truly. So Dhamma is the reality or the truth of the true nature that we can experience truly. Or some people always ask, how can Buddhism be sign, or do you call it as a sign? Yes, this is sign, scientific method of arising, existing and passing away. It is dependent each other. There's eyes and form. It connect each other, then becomes sight. Or we can write the formula: eyes platforms, that's very colorful, is equal to sight. So sight is the nature, is the result of dependent between eye and form. We can see the process of action and reaction. You can have eye or form as thesis, and then after eye and form come together its antithesis, and sight is synthesis. Is it the process of scientific method, or many people try to say if Buddhism is science? Yes, you come to study this six sense base, that you will find it real true, it real truth, it real science. It is the formula as mathematics. Then let's come to see the process of listening or heard is going on by the process of ears plus sounds. Ears plus sounds is equal to heard. Heard coming from ears and sounds. It is a process of action and reaction, thesis, antithesis, and synthesis. Is it action and reaction and result? You can prove it real day and night. And even another organs, nose, tongue, tangible body, and smelling, taste, tangible body, and phenomena are going on this way. Then here, the Buddha point, Dhamma is the true nature that we can experience by the six sense base. Asking for kindness from viewer of station, I have broadcast. We invite you to join together to share, spread your voice to be Dhamma charity. Thank you. จิราพรตายทรัพย์ Okay. Then the Buddha at first he point Dhamma. He thought the Dhamma as the true nature that we can experience here and now. Here and now. Then the second, the Buddha teaches how to do with what we are seeing, what we are hearing, what we are smelling, what we are tasting, what we are touching, or what we are thinking, or what to do, what had been seen, what have been seen, what have been heard, what has been smelt, what has been tasted, what had been touched, what had been thought, what to do. The Buddha lets us to understand that the factor that did not arise in the past arise. They have unreason and they try to clear. The Buddha lets us investigate. Does the factor or something that tie or is bound, it bonded or the bonded or the trap or the trap that did not arise, you must think it never arising, it never be arisen in the past. Is it now arising? This is the Buddha try us to see, or shortly investigate that the factor arise now when you are seeing, when you are hearing, when you are smelling, when you are tasting, when you are touching, and when you are thinking. Does it arise? Does factor arise? Yes or no? Yes or no? And on the other guest, like ears, nose, tongues, tangible body, and thinking of phenomena and mind and phenomena. And then you set the question that the factor arise from seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, or thinking. Investigate that, and it arises, it yes. And if it doesn't arise, no. Then if it is arised, it by you with what you are thinking, you are seeing, you are hearing, you tasting, you touching, it by you, and it become attachment. After that you attach of that, it become attachment arises. And if attachment arises, you are tired, you are tied, you are in the factor, you are in the trap. You are in the trap. You are not free. You are not independent. And you are the follower. What you are seeing, what you are hearing, what you are smelling, what you are tasting, what you are touching, what you are thinking. You become the follower. And then if you understand what's it the cause of the factor, and what's it the cause of abandoning of the factor, and thus one can abandon the factor, and you know the way of the Four Noble Truths, does it fetter arise? What is the cause of fetter arising? Can you abandon the fetter? And what's the way to abandon the fetter? The Buddha said that every time you have seen, you have heard, you had smelt, you had tasted, you had touched, you had thought. You know, investigate, watch, and be careful about that. To not let the fetter arise. When you know the way, not to let fetter arise, you will be free. You are free. The Buddha said that. You have no attachment anything in the world. You just let eye see, let ears listen, let nose smell, let tongue taste, let tangible body touch, and let the mind know the phenomena. Just let six sense-based work naturally, because you know the secret of nature, and let them to work naturally in the properly, or let them function properly in appropriate way, that you will be free at the moment of that. You have no attachment. What you had seen, what you had heard, what you had tasted, what you had touched, what you had thought, you will be free. You become the free monk, free man, free woman. So here, the Buddha teaches to practice Dhamma when we are seeing, when we are hearing, when we are smelling, when we are tasting, when we are touching, when we are thinking. If somebody asks us, where can I practice Dhamma? Upon this story, you can answer, we can practice at eyes, ears, nose, tongue, tangible body. And when are you going to practice Dhamma? When the eyes are seeing, when the ears are listening, when the tongue is smelling, when the nose is smelling, when the tongue is tasting, when the body is touching, when the mind is thinking. Anybody can practice Dhamma who can practice Dhamma. Everybody who has eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body and mind can practice Dhamma. So upon this definition, Dhamma as an experience of the true nature, Dhamma is for all. Dhamma has no limitation for those who penetrating in practice. So Buddha's Dhamma is not for Asian, is not for India, is not for Thai, but it all for all human beings. We can follow the motto of Lincoln that Dhamma belonging to human being, because it is covered by the Buddha as a human being. Dhamma is belonging to human being. It is covered by human being, and it spread, it disseminated for benefit and happiness of human being. It publicly, it the universal benefit for everyone. It the universal path for everyone. It the universal knowledge for everyone to bring, to break the fetter. The Buddha said that so the purpose of practice Dhamma is to break the fetter or attachment and let be free from the fetter and the attachment. The goal is freedom and liberation from attachment of defilement. And what you tie by the fetter of defilement, of craving, of grasping, or clinging. So if you have carefulness, mindfulness, and awareness every time, you are seeing, you are listening, you smelling, you tasting, you touching, or you thinking, you will be free from fetter. So how to practice? Just set mindfulness, awareness, alertness. You set the mindfulness, awareness, alertness, carefulness when you are seeing, when you are hearing, when you are smelling, when you are tasting, when you are thinking, and when you are touching. Set mindfulness, awareness, alertness at that time. So you have the proper time. You let mindfulness, awareness, alertness to come on time. And then you can abandon the fetter that had arisen, and you can protect all the factor you can protect the cause of the factor not allowed to arise again. You break the arisen factor to have non-attachment. So the Buddha said that when you have no attachment, you are free in any world, here or anywhere. You become free. If you need freedom, set mindfulness, awareness, alertness, carefulness at your sixth sense best. Let it function mindfully, awaking carefully, that you will be free from the factor. This is the way to abandon the factor. As the Buddha said. Thank you for พระอาจารย์ทวีปกัตตปุญโญ Thank you very much for coming and attend this program. Okay, I think my talking is sufficient now, and let's practice meditation. Set mindfulness to know in breath we know, out breath we know. In breath I am breathing in, out breath we know I am breathing out. In breath I am breathing in, out breath I am breathing out. Okay. May all living beings, human beings, all beings be free from dangers, hostilities, aversion, and harming. May all living beings be free from suffering. May all living being be safe, be soft, be successful, peaceful, and happy. Good night, everybody. I hope you all have a good night.